You can cut that out, can you?
No, we're leaving it in. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Mullet Man podcast. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. Just having random people on. This is my brother-in-law, Nathan Wofford. I got Zoe messing with my mic. And we're going to talk a little bit about waterfowl hunting and dog training, stuff like that. We'll see where it takes us. But sit back, enjoy, and we'll see where it goes. So, Nathan, you want to tell us a little bit about what you do, your second job, as well as what you do for a living and how you got into the waterfowl world?
Yep. So, I right out of high school, I went to work for a ranch about 20 miles north of us in East Texas, and that's where I kind of got my feet wet in the duck hunting world. I've always duck hunted, but working for them there kind of made it my passion, and I knew that's what I wanted to do and always do something in the duck industry. So worked for them for 4 years and trained their dogs. I'd always had a couple dogs, so
you trained their dogs back in the day too?
When I worked there, I trained their dogs.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of why I still have them. So trained their dogs. I went back to work for my dad when I was 22 and worked for his businesses. We have a tire business, so I work for him there now. But I still knew that the duck hunting side of things is something I wanted to always do. So I kept training dogs, and I still contract guide for that private club in the wintertime. And then my buddies have also started a little outfitter, and we guide there as well. So I am part-time duck guide, part-time dog trainer, but it's kind of full-time.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's for sure a full-time gig. Every time I go out to their house, he's out there working with dogs. How many do you have right now?
I have 11, and puppies hitting the ground in about 5 days.
So I didn't realize how big the waterfowl dog industry is. There's thousands of trainers, huh?
Yeah, there's way too many.
Way too many trainers. But so when I first met my wife Angel, one of the first things we did when I met Nathan was go duck hunting. I think the flyway has definitely changed. I've been going to Arkansas for years before I met you guys, and it seemed like the flyway is moving more towards East Texas, and they're right smack in the middle of it, and they just pound ducks every year. So it was cool to go up there and get into some mallards. We don't get a whole lot of mallards down here. And I used to be super hardcore into duck hunting. Back in the day when I didn't video anything, and all me and my buddies did was go out to public lakes and try to shoot as many ducks as possible. But
yeah, it's not that easy no more.
Yeah, it's not. There's Duck Commander, I think, put a hurting on that. Everybody and their dog thinks they're a duck hunter now. But hey, it helps the industry. More people that buy a license. It helps us in the long run, but you just have to work a little harder, and that private land is key. And y'all do a lot. Y'all don't really do hardly any.
We don't do much
public.
No. We're very lucky to have a lot of private lands.
And y'all have geese up there, but y'all don't have.
Not many.
Yeah, it's not like
the ranch that I work at there, which you've been there before, holds a lot of geese, but they're pretty tough to kill.
Yeah. So, just the dog industry. Back to that, training a dog. What if somebody was to buy a puppy? Obviously, you want a paper dog. That the whole field trial thing. I don't know anything about it, but you'd like to have something out of good genetics. But what age do you bring? What age would you want a customer to bring you a puppy?
That is a very tough question to answer. Over the past few years, I've discovered that, you kind of want to, if you sell a puppy, okay, take it home, bring it back at, let's say, 5-6 months old, when you can start basic obedience. Because you can't do a lot with a puppy at a young age. You build drive, you can do little things, but you can also hurt a puppy a lot at a young age. So these people that are taking these dogs and bringing them back at 6 months, they let them sit on the couch and hang out with the wife and the wife babies and with the kids. Yep.
This is the best.
Play with them too much and they come back. And why would you want to go get in cold water or work when you've had the life?
Right.
So a lot of dogs are fine when they bring them back at 5-6 months old, but It's a very important part of the time of that dog's life, from 8 weeks old to when it's 6 weeks old. Building the drive, building the desire. Everybody thinks, and this is where a lot of people are confused, they buy a lab, it's going to do everything they need the water for.
Right.
That's far from the truth. So you definitely want to check your bloodlines, get a good dog, look at the female, look at the male, and watch them work if you can. Try to get videos. Everybody has a hunting dog they're going to breed to. Everybody wants to breed their dog because it picked up 10 ducks last year, so it's a hunting dog now, so it's labeled as a hunting dog. So you definitely want to do your homework and don't go cheap, but don't always go extremely expensive. I've got a very expensive dog in my kennel right now.
That you're training or that you own?
That I own. I paid right at $3,000 for it. I have a dog in my kennel that somebody paid $800 for. The $800 dog is better than my $3,000 dog.
Really?
So you kind of want to find maybe kind of like a happy medium. Don't go. There's no need to go crazy, but you don't want to pay $500-600 anymore for a dog. It's not going to. You know.
So would you suggest, like, family guy, got a family but loves to duck hunt? He's a weekend duck hunter. What's the best option to buy? Go to you, buy a trained dog that you raise that's already trained, or to buy a puppy and then go from there?
Well, that's a tough question as well too, because I had a guy call me yesterday about a dog I have for sale. He is 15 months old. He said, I want to buy a puppy and I want to send it to the trainer, but I just don't know if I want to go through all that process. Okay, well, if you don't care about the puppy process, buy a dog that is 15 months old. You're going to know what that dog is. You know, if it's been with the trainer or whoever it's been with, it should be able to pick up birds and show you a few things, and you should see kind of how that dog is going to be later on in its life. So if I were going to go buy a dog, I would buy a season level dog if I could. That's a year to 2 years old, because you know what you're getting. You might buy a puppy and spend all kinds of money on a trainer. I'm not saying you shouldn't do this, but you don't know how the dog's going to turn out.
So even if you buy like a 2 to 3 year old dog, how does that dog react going from a trainer that he's been with for 3 years to a new owner that isn't a trainer?
Most of the time they get used to each other. So,
Yeah.
I sold my 10-year-old
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that.
dog last year.
I was pretty upset. You got it for your birthday, didn't you?
Graduation.
So he got this lab for graduation. Trained it. His best dog. His first dog that he ever fully trained, right? Second. Either way, and then sells it when it's 10 years old. How could you do that? That's a dog trainer for you.
I retired it. He had plenty of drive, plenty of go.
So now it's just a weekend hunting dog.
Yeah, but him sitting in my kennel watching me work dogs all day and him not getting to work, I did not like that. I don't like a dog sitting in my kennel and not being worked. So I have client dogs and other dogs I'm bringing up. My main dog now, Zeke, is out of Drake. So I had him coming up, and I have a lot of other dogs. I just didn't have time for him. So I'd rather somebody that could take him and give him a good last few years of life. He had kids. They can love on him. He can hunt him. I don't need a hunting dog anymore. I got too many dogs to hunt, so I'm not going to hunt my 10-year-old. So, yes, it was kind of sad, but he's in a better place.
So, how many years do you think you've been training dogs? 7, 8?
I got my first dog buck when I was 17. I am 28 now.
Full time.
For what I'm doing now, kind of the competition side and stuff, but for about 2 years.
2 years. Yeah, but you've had a lot more experience year before that, just
Yeah.
not taking them to trials.
Yeah.
I think the wives are trying to get a hold of us, but we're working here. So, like getting started, who did you look up to, or did you watch videos or CDs or podcasts? What did you do to get all your knowledge as far as dog training? Like, you don't just go out there and start training a dog. You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah. So you would probably agree with this in your YouTube world as well, but you have to have a mentor.
Yeah.
You have to have somebody that can mentor you. That is the most important thing and I think in a lot of aspects of life.
Yep.
Just like having a dad. But I had somebody that I bought a dog from, and he was a family friend, but I went over to his house every week, and he showed me the next step. And I stuck to it because he knew what he was doing. And I watch a lot of videos, and I have a lot of buddies now in the industry, and we all talk. But the biggest key was I had a mentor, somebody who taught me and told me what to do.
Yeah, but you're always learning. Everybody, if you really love what you're doing, you're always learning. You're always looking at new YouTube videos, or you see a old school 1980s dog training video, you're going to pick it up at the store and buy it and just watch it, see if you can pick up one or two things out of each thing that you're looking at or trying to learn from. And then collectively over the years, you have so much knowledge that then you become somebody else's mentor in the game.
Each dog will teach you something, just like on every hunt you go on, you learn something from that hunt.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, every dog
is different. Every hunt is different.
Yeah.
But you got to be willing to learn and listen to other people, because when you think you know it all, you probably don't know very much.
Yeah. So Nathan does not only just duck hunt. Y'all probably seen him in some past videos of mine. Deer hunting in South Texas. This deer right here, actually top left. He was with me on that hunt. He filmed that hunt, and then he shot a monster bull in Arizona last year with his bow. He's been putting in there for 10 plus years.
No, 5.
Oh, 5.
Yeah.
I thought you'd been putting in there for 10 years. Either way, to draw a bull in Arizona, to draw a bull tag in Arizona is a feat in itself, and then to go do it DIY, camping. He has never been there in his life and killed an awesome 5x4 or 5x5.
He was a 5x4.
5x4. He's giant. He has huge whale tails. I'll see if he can send me a picture. I'll throw a picture up here so y'all can see it. As a giant bull. He sent it to me. I wish I could have been there so bad.
It's crazy.
He was tired of hunting, sitting in the stand by himself. But you shot it out of a boat line on water.
Yeah,
right?
I was sitting on the water boat in the evening.
Yeah. So that's a dream of mine, is to go kill a big bull in Arizona. Old Sandman, he's going to be my guide if I ever do draw that tag, because he knows Arizona more than anybody I know. But your love isn't just in duck hunting. I know it's kind of geared towards that way since you've been full-time training dogs. But what is, like, besides duck hunting, would elk hunting be number one? Or would you just rather go sit in the stand?
Well, I used to have said, I've always told you this too, it's hard to beat a whitetail hunt. That was before I went to Arizona. Now that I went to Arizona, I told him last year, I wasn't even that pumped about whitetail season because the elk was just unbelievable.
Well, and you had a few hiccups as far as the buck that you've been after for a few years, and the lamb you've been hunting.
Yeah.
But that's a big thing here in Texas, sitting in a stand. That's like what we all grew up doing, sitting in a stand over a feeder. I know y'all don't all agree with it just because y'all didn't grow up in Texas doing it, but I mean, some of these places that we're hunting are only 20 acres. So what are you going to do? Go stalk around in 20 acres and hope that buck walks through? You got to sit in a tree stand and bait them. But that's just the way of life down here. But elk hunting is just a completely different ball game, and I can't wait. I leave here in a couple weeks for our first elk hunt. You're focused on ducks this year, huh?
Well, I had a baby.
And he had a little girl.
Since that happened this year, I didn't want to be gone for 2 weeks not knowing how everything was going. So I don't really know how all that system works. The guy that I go with does it. You would probably know it more, but we didn't put in for the draw, but like we did something for the points that
you put in as a group.
We did something that made it so like if we put in next year, this year wasn't a complete loss. Like it helps for next year's points.
So you buy points, and then whatever unit that you're wanting to hunt, say that the unit that he was wanting to hunt takes 5 points. So they bought points for 5 years, and then he becomes eligible to draw that tag. So that year you put in for that unit, and he just happened to get drawn. But I think, I'm not 100% sure on Arizona, but I think it does help to put in as a group. It helps your odds. I'm not sure how many people you can put in your group, but every state is different, and there's so many rules and regulations as far as tags and stuff goes. But there's definitely ways to improve your odds, and y'all definitely did it. Y'all both, you and the guy you went with both shot nice bulls. He shot a giant too, right?
So it was kind of cool. It was very dry in Arizona, so there was like no water. We found one water hole, and we sat there the evening before I shot my bull. The guy I went with, lifelong friend, Roger Burks, shot a giant 6x6 there the evening before. So
How many days was that hunt? Or what day did you?
I killed on day 10 of the season, but we were there for 14 days, so we got there 3 days earlier, scouted,
That is
set up.
a long time.
14 days in the tent. 10 days of hunting for me. But Roger killed his the evening before. I went and killed mine the next evening. We were leaving and we seen this truck on the side of the road and it had like it was wrapped in something. It's a cool looking truck. I don't remember what it was. But anyways, this guy, he guided wounded vets. So when they came out of the woods, I was like, hey, let's tell them. Go sit on that hole over there. So we told them. They were real thankful that we told them whatever. And they went and sat there that evening. The wounded vet killed a 6x6 that I had seen there the next evening. So 3 nights in a row, back to back.
3 bulls killed in 3
with a bow,
days
yeah.
at the same water.
Yeah.
That's, if you can find water like that nobody else knows about and nobody else is sitting on, or there's not 20 trail cams on that one watering hole, you're most likely going to have a really good chance of shooting a big bull. But I can't wait. We have like a week or two. My buddy Ben, do you follow him on Instagram?
I seen something you posted this
He
morning
killed
about-
a monster velvet mule deer.
Yeah, awesome.
So y'all go check out our channel, Real Hunting, on YouTube. That video will be up within the next week or two. But that was in spot and stock. They walked in 5 miles, packed in 5 miles, camp. He's been going in there for the past 6 months, bringing water in, and they dug a hole and put 10 gallons in there because you have to take a shower while you're up there and drink water, and then all your freeze-dried food you have to use water to cook that. So that is like a true hunt, and he didn't even know, I don't think that he knew that buck was in there, and they went in there to kill a big coos deer, and he came out with that giant mule deer. But
It doesn't really feel like people should be hunting right now.
I know.
It's like 100 degrees here.
my other buddy Ben in Utah, it was like 30 degrees when they were out scouting 2 days ago.
It's like 100 here.
Yeah, it's super hot, but we're in a cool little office right now. But I just wanted y'all to be introduced to Nathan. If y'all need his information, will be in the description box if y'all want a dog trained, or if you're looking for a fully trained dog. His number will be down there. Y'all can shoot him a text or follow him on Instagram and send him a DM. He'll answer any questions y'all have as far as dogs. Do you have any out-of-state guys that have dogs being trained by you?
Yeah, not very much of my business is local.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you're out of state and you don't have a guy that you trust, I'll put my name behind it. You can trust him with everything. He will do everything right, and y'all can call him for pricing and stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Just a little, we're just sitting around doing nothing, so we figured to get on here and hang out with you guys for a little while. But stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and remember, eat good.